So in the previous class, we have posted some invoices, right? And today we will see how to execute automatic payment program. And also I explained you the different phases involved in the execution of automatic payment program. So execution of automatic payment program, transaction code F110. So first let us display the invoices. Let us display the line items in the vendor account. FBL1N. Company code SSBS. Vendor account 710421. Click on execute. See, there are two open items. So we posted the invoices on 19th July, right? Today is 22nd July. So as on today, these two invoices are overdue. Okay, so this symbol represents overdue. Now let us see how to execute the automatic payment program. Transaction code F110. Run date is equal to 22/7/2022. Identification SSBS. Give some name or number. So for each run, we have to give one name. And this automatic payment program can be executed any number of times in a day, and there is no any limit. So for each run, we have to give one name. Then, see, here the status, no parameters entered as it. Parameters means selection parameters. So we have to enter the selection parameters. To enter the selection parameters, click on parameters tab. See, company code is equal to SSBS. Payment method, C. Check payment. Next payment date is 23rd/7/2022. Vendor is equal to 710421. Vendor is equal to 710421. Click on additional log tab. Under required logging type, select due date check. Then select payment method selection all cases. Accounts required 710421. I will explain you all these things. First, let us do the setting. Click on save. Click on save. Right? Now, click on back arrow. See the message. Parameters have been entered. Right? Now, here, if you go to the parameters tab, right? We have given, right, next payment date 23/7/2022, right? And also vendor we have given 710421. I have given only one vendor. But in the real time, what happens is you enter entire vendor range 710500. Okay, then we have to understand a lot of things here. Listen to me very carefully. See, during the training sessions, right, the end users will give you a number of questions, right? They will have a number of doubts. That's why listen to this explanation very, very carefully. So first of all, you should understand how the system identifies which vendors are overdue, and for each vendor, which invoice are overdue. Which invoice are due for the payment. First of all, we have to understand how the system will select the vendors due, and for every vendor, how the system selects the invoices due, right? Here, we have given the vendor range 710421 to 710500. In the first instance, the system verifies if any open items are available in the first vendor account. Suppose in this vendor number, there is no any open items. Then it will go to next vendor, second vendor. In the second vendor account also, the system verifies whether there are any open items. Then again, in the second vendor also, there are no any open items, right? In that case, it will leave the second vendor, again it will go to third vendor and so on. So in the first instance, the system verifies whether there are any open items in the vendor account. So let us go to the open items of, let us check the open items in the first vendor, FBL1N. I have given the vendor 710421. Then in this vendor, there are two open items. Okay, there are two invoices. Now it will go to the details of the first invoice. Even if you double click on this here, we can see the payment terms. For each line item, you are maintaining the payment terms, no? So from the line item, the system identifies the payment terms. From the payment terms, the system determines the credit period. And the credit period is added to baseline date. Thereby, system determines the due date of the invoice. So what payment terms 0001 means, right? Payment immediate. Then baseline date is also 19/7/2022. So payment is to be done on 19/7/2022. That means for this invoice, right, the due date is 19/7/2022. Now, if the due date determined by the system is falling on or before the run date, if the due date determined by the system, right, is falling on or before the run date, the system will select that invoice into payment program. If the due date determined by the system is falling after run date, then the system will leave that invoice. It will go to next invoice again. Like that, for every vendor, the system analyzes the invoices like this to determine which invoice are to be paid today. Clear, no? Now, one more thing. So here I have given only 71042. Okay. Then next payment date, we have given 23/7/2022. So why we have to enter the next payment date? What is the significance of this next payment date? Here, some space is there, no? Please write down. Put heading next payment date. On the basis of the next payment date, on the basis of the next payment date, the system will print the check. The system will print the check for those invoices also. Which may become overdue. The system will print the check for those invoices also, which may become overdue by the next payment date. By the next payment date, and on which cash discount is also available, and on which cash discount is also available, so that the cash discount is not lost. So that the cash discount is not lost. Means what? Let us take one example. See, in our company, right, we are executing the automatic payment program on every Friday. Remember, in our company, we are executing the automatic payment program on every Friday. That is the payment policy, right? So today is 22nd, right? So current date of execution of APP. APP means automatic payment program. Today's date is 22nd/7/2022. Then as per the policy, next payment date is next payment date 29, right? So 29 7 2022. Okay, now that means we are executing the payment program once in a week, right? Then there is one invoice. Invoice amount is equal to 1 lakh. Now, if paid on 26/7/2022, right? We get 3% cash discount. That is the payment terms. Means vendor has given 30 days credit, right? And he said, if we make the payment on 30th day for this invoice, he will give us 3% cash discount. And you purchase the material on 27th June. So 26th July is the due date with the 3% cash discount. Till now clear? That is the scenario. Now, today we are executing the automatic payment program. Today means 22nd. So in that case, is this invoice due? Is this invoice due?
No.
No,
No.
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 No, right? So system will not print the check for this invoice. Okay. Now, when you are going to execute the payment program next on 29th July. So on 29th July, this invoice is due but overdue. So the vendor will give us the cash discount, right? On 20, if you make the payment only on 26th. If you make the payment on 29th, he will not give any cash discount because it's an overdue invoice, right? So we have to lose the cash discount in this case. Then what happens is, in the next payment date, if you enter the date like 29/7/2022, next payment date, as per your schedule, as per your policy, then the system will print the check for this invoice also after reducing 3% cash discount with the current date. The system will print the check for this invoice also after reducing 3% cash discount. 3% cash discount with the current date. In this example, that is 22/7/2022. Clear? If this is clear, let us go in depth a little bit. Okay, see, remember, the system will print the check for this invoice with this date, 22nd only, after reducing 3% cash discount. In this example, the system will print the check for 97,000 with the 2 days date. Okay, now, today you have given the check to vendor, this vendor, and this vendor is having the account in our same house bank. So immediately he deposited the check today itself, right? And the funds were transferred to the vendor account. And this check was issued from your overdraft account. The check was issued from your overdraft account, right? In that case, the funds are transferred to vendor account on today itself. Actually, what is the due date? 26th. But you have made the payment 4 days before. And the funds are transferred from your current account. I'm sorry, your overdraft account. In that case, for 97,000, you have to pay interest to the bank for 4 days. On 97,000, you have to pay interest to the bank for 4 days. That means the amount of 3% cash discount is reduced by the amount of interest you pay to the bank for 4 days. It is also a kind of loss to you, right? So it should also not happen. If this not to happen, what you have to do? You have to give the check to the vendor only on 26/7 only. Till then, you have to keep the check with you. For that, you should know the due date of this invoice, right? So how do you know the due date of this invoice? This type of invoices, right? For that, you have clicked on additional log tab, right? Then we have selected, see, required logging type. You have selected due date check and payment method selection all cases. So the system will maintain the due date of the invoices which have been paid in this payment run. When you select this due date check, the system will maintain the log of due date of the invoices which have been paid in this payment run. Right? For which vendors? For the vendors we specify here, right? We specify 710500. For all the vendors who have been paid in this payment run, the system will maintain the due date for their invoices. Following? Then payment method selection all cases. For each vendor, what is the payment method it has used? So this log is also maintained. So from this log, due date check, the system will find the due date for this invoice, right? Sorry, the user can find the due date for this invoice from the log. Till this date, he can keep the check with him. And on this day, he can call the vendor and send the check to him. That is the significance of next payment date, right? Here, when you're executing the payment program every day, it doesn't have any significance. But if you execute the payment program with the intervals, right, then it has a lot of significance. So just like that I have given tomorrow's date. Even if you press on F1, see, SAP documentation. This date is needed in order to check the due date of the payables. See, this date is needed in order to check the due date of the payables. If an item is already overdue on the date of the next payment run or would lose the cash discount, the system pays the line item in this payment. Right? Please write down this. I hope it's over for everybody. Click on save, click on back arrow. See, parameters have been entered. Yeah, Parvati, madam, tell me.
Sir, this would be true only for check payments, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Then click on go back. Status shows parameters have been entered. Then click on schedule proposal. We are performing second phase. This is called schedule button. Schedule proposal. Select start immediately. Right? Start date 22nd 7 2022. Start date is equal to 22/7 2022. Then select start immediately. So immediately the system executes the proposal. Target computer, press F4, give your system name, give your server name. So on this computer, the system creates the proposal immediately. So what is proposal? Proposal means list of vendors. For every vendor, list of invoices that are going to be paid. This is called proposal, right? So click on enter. Proposal is ready to be started. Then enter. Click status shows proposal scheduled. You have to click on enter again. See, payment proposal has been created. Do one thing. Click on enter. After that, write one more sentence. Again, click on enter. Click on enter. After that, again, click on enter. Status shows proposal created, not scheduled. Oh, sorry, it is there, it is there. Don't write anything. Click on enter. Status shows proposal scheduled. Again, click on enter. Status shows proposal has been created. Need not write anything. Now, here, if you want to edit the proposal, right? This is called edit proposal. If you want to only display the proposal, this is called display proposal. Proposal means list of vendors, and for every vendor, list of invoices that are going to be paid. So I want to edit the proposal. Click on edit proposal and select all accounting clerks. All accounting clerks was automatically selected. Means the system is going to display the proposal created by all the accounting clerks. Then click on enter. Look at the screen. Vendor 710421, right? Total payment, it is to make 3 lakhs. The system is going to print a check, or the system is going to make a payment of 3 lakhs to the vendor 710421. And here you can see type is green, means it is going to make the payment. Now, here you have only one vendor. That's why it is showing this vendor only. Now, I want to know what are the invoices that are going to be paid for this vendor. For this vendor, total payment going to be made is 3 lakhs. So whether this 3 lakhs includes only one invoices or multiple invoices? If multiple invoices, what are those invoices? I want to know all this information, right? So double click on the line item of vendor. Just 1 minute. So double click on line item of vendor number. Write down, please. Continue. Double click line item of vendor number. Double click on line item of vendor number to display the invoices. To display the invoices going to be paid to him. Going to be paid to him. So double click on this line item. See, vendor 710421, it is going to make a payment for these 2 invoices. 2,25,000 one invoice, 75,000 another invoice, right? Well, now double click again, right? Continue. Double click again on the respect to invoice line. Double click again on the respect to invoice line. Block payment if you want. See, I want to block second invoice from the payment. So double click on second line item, payment block. So these are called payment block reasons. Why do you want to block the invoice from the payment? You have to enter the reason. And these reasons were already defined in the system. If necessary, we can also create our own payment block reasons also, right? Say, for example, if you enter A, system will not print the check for this invoice. Out of these two invoices, the system will not print the check for this invoice. Clear? Following? Now, see. Just a minute. See, blocked for payment. Click on reallocate. Sorry. So if you want to block the payment, right? For this invoice, you enter the respective blocking reasons, right? So here I'm not blocking. Suppose here we have 2-3 house banks. Normally for this vendor, invoice are paid through particular bank. Normally, but this time for this invoice, he wants the payment from another bank. He has requested already to make the payment from another bank, right? In that case, for this invoice, you want to change the house bank. For that, you can click on reallocate button. So you can change the payment method. You can change the house bank. You can change the account ID. So if you want to change the house bank, with that house bank, you have to have the account. Then only it is possible to make the payment from the bank. So here I'm not entering anything. Click on close. Again, see. Here, if you enter the payment block reason, right, at the time of automatic payment program, that invoice will be blocked only for that run. That invoice will be blocked only for that payment run. Means, for example, now it is time morning 10:30 a.m. and you are executing the payment program. At that time, you have blocked this invoice. So system will not print the check for this invoice in this payment run. Evening 4 o'clock, again you are executing the payment program and you have given this vendor number. System takes this invoice into payment again. Are you getting my point? Means if the invoice is blocked from payment at the time of execution of APP, that blocking is applicable only for that run. Suppose the requirement is, I want to block this invoice in all the future payment runs. Not only in this run. I want to block this invoice from all the future payment runs. In that case, you can enter the blocking reason at the invoice document entry level. At the time of posting the invoice in F-43, right? For the invoice line item, you have one field payment block. So if you enter the payment block reason at the time of document entry, the system will not select that invoice in all the future payment runs. Do one thing. Go to the bottom of the step. Go after last line of the step. Go to page number 134. Sorry, 135. Some space is there, no? Please write down. Blocking of invoices. Blocking of invoices for vendors. If the invoice is blocked, at the time of APP execution, within brackets F110, that blocking is applicable only for that run. Next, number 2. If the invoice is blocked, if the invoice is blocked, at the time of document entry, at the time of document entry, by entering the blocking reason, by entering the blocking reason, for the invoice line item, for the invoice line item, then that invoice will not be selected for payment. Then that invoice will not be selected for payment. In all the future payment runs, in all the future payment runs, till that blocking reason is again removed, till that blocking reason is again removed in FB02. In FB02. Next point. If we enter the blocking reason, if we enter the blocking reason in the company code data segment, in the company code data segment of the vendor master record, of the vendor master record, then all the invoice of that vendor, then all the invoices of that vendor then all the invoice of that vendor will not be selected, will not be selected in all the future payment runs, in all the future payment runs, till that blocking reason, till that blocking reason is again removed from the vendor master records, vendor master record in XK02, in XK02. I hope it's clear for everybody, right? After this execution of automatic payment program, I will show you all these functions, right? Now let us continue with the execution of automatic payment program. So I am not reselecting, I am not reallocating any house plans. Click on enter and save. See, saving unnecessary. You have not changed anything. Now click on back arrow. Come to proposal screen. So you came to proposal screen. Now here, this is called display proposal, right? And this is called proposal log. See, sometimes what happens, no? Here in the proposal, right? Sometimes you can see this dot in red color. Under the type, you will see the red color box that is called exempted. Or sorry, that is not taken into payment program. If you see the red color box here means there are errors in the automatic payment program. In that case, how do we know what are the errors? For that, this is called proposal log. If you click on this proposal log, right, the system will tell you the errors. At the end of, see here, it will give the detailed log here. Then at the end of this log, system will give you one sentence that the checks cannot be printed because of reported error. So based on that, you have to rectify the error. Okay. See here, 2 invoices are there for the vendor. No? So additional log for the vendor 710421, company code SSBS, due date determination additional log, document number this, right? Terms of payment this, 0 days grace periods are being concerned. Payment must take place before 19/7/2022. So from this log, right? If the overdue invoices are there, and if the system prints the check, based on this date only, we can give the invoice, you can give the check to the vendor. Next payment 23/7, item is due with 0% cash discount. Similarly, this is the due date log for the second invoice. Then payment method selection additional log. Payment method selection for the items due now to the amount of 3 lakhs. Payment method C is being checked. Bank details are being checked. System reads the house banks and checks if there are allowed. Our house bank HDFCS is being checked. For currency INR and 999 days, 5 lakhs, sorry, 5 crores are planned. The available amount is enough, right? So 5 crores amount is still available. 3 lakhs necessary. House bank is selected. Our bank details HDFCS, HDFCC are used. Payment method C is permitted. If any errors are there, the system will report the errors here. Based on the errors, we can rectify the error. Then only the system will proceed further. This is called proposal log, right? Now, click on payment on button, third phase. This is called schedule payment run, right? Here, start date was automatically taken by the system. Start immediately was automatically selected. Target computer was also automatically selected. So click on enter. After that, go to printout data medium tab. Here, the payment run has been executed, right? At this point of time itself, all the accounting functions have taken place. Clear? In the third phase itself, all this, see, when you click on enter, posting orders 1 generated, 1 completed. Means by this time, right, all the accounting functions have been taken care. That means vendor overpayments have been cleared, accounting documents are posted, vendor account balances are updated, reconciliation accounts are updated, checklist is updated. So in third phase, right, all the accounting functions will take it, but checks are not yet printed because print phase is not yet executed. So to execute the print program, fourth phase, go to printout data medium tab. This one. Go to printout data medium tab. RFFOS_C means check program, right? Against this check program, you enter the variant name SSBS. RFFOS_C is equal to, SSBS. The identification you have given the first screen. Click on maintain variants. Then after that, you please add one sentence in your material. Select for all selection screens radio button. Select for all selection screens radio button. Click on continue. Program run date is equal to 22/7/2022. Identification feature is equal to SSBS. Paying company code SSBS. Business area SSBS. House bank is equal to HDFCS. Anybody is feeling any disturbance from my side?
No, sir.
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
No, sir.
House bank is equal to HDFCS. Account ID HDFCC. Check lot number 1. Under print control, select print checks. Printer LP01. This is the printer name for training purposes. Define the system. Select print immediately. Select print payment advice notes. Printer LP01. Select print immediately. Select print payment summary. Printer is equal to LP01. Select print immediately. Number of sample printouts 0. I don't want to see any sample printouts of the checks. Select do not void any checks. Click on attributes button. Description is equal to SSBS. Click on save. Oh my God, what happened? Just a minute. Somebody has logged with my user and password. That's why system has given this message. Some of our students. SSBS. Again, I'm executing from the 4th phase, right? Account ID HSBCC. Check lot number 1. So I have repeated from 4th phase. Click on printout data medium tab. Click on attributes tab. Description SSBS. Click on save. Click on back arrow. Click on save. Click on back arrow. Now you have to take the printouts. Click on printout tab. Click on schedule printout. Select to start immediately. Job name. Here, what is the job name here? What is the job here? Printing job. So system creates one printing job for printing checks, payment advice, and payment summary, right? So for this printing job, we have to give one name. So in the question mark place, you give any name. Just like that, I'm using our identification only, SSBS. Click on it. So checks are not yet printed still. The checks, payment advices, and payment summary will be printed when this job is executed. When this printing job is executed. To see the checks slash, see the step number 12. To see the checks slash to print the checks. Go to menu system, services, output control. Click on execute. List contains no data. Actually, the system has to display the spool numbers here, right? But it's saying that this list contains no data. Actually, the program is correct, right? But the problem is system is not printing the checks, payment advisors and payment summary in this example, because the configuration of the printer might not have been done properly. I will check it. But accounting functions should have been taken care. The output I will show you after inquiring into this error, right? After inquiring into these reasons for this error, then I will again execute the payment program. Then I will show you the output, right? But for the time being, I am showing you all the accounting functions. Display check register, FCHEM. Paying company code, SSBS. House bank, HDFCS. The account ID is not there. Please add the account ID. HSBCC. Click on execute. So checks are not also. Payment method forms voided. Payment method checks created manually. So the checks were also not printed. Let me check the open items. See, open items are cleared. Open items are cleared, right? But system did not print the check. That's why the system did not update the check register. Only when the check is printed, check register will be updated, right? So here we got the message that list contains no data. Means the checks are not printed. So check register is not updated. But open items are cleared. Right? So I will look into this error, right? I will give you the reasons in the Monday class. Before that, let us discuss about the blocking of invoices, right? I told you at the time of posting the invoices in F-43, we can enter the blocking reason. See here, payment method, sorry, payment block. If you enter the blocking reason, right, then this invoice will be blocked from all the future payment runs. Normally, this is selected when there is a issue with the quality. Say, for example, right, already you have posted one invoice, right, for this vendor today, right, and credit period is 30 days. But after 15 days, you notice that the quality received, the quality of the materials received on this invoice are deteriorated and they are not standing up to the quality. Then you have to block the invoice. See, already you have posted the invoice, right? But in the posted invoices, you want to enter the blocking reason. FB03 display FI document, FB02 edit FI document, right? So click on document list, for example, document number 1 to all lines, fiscal year 2021, sorry, 2022, document FKR, invoice documents. So for example, in this invoice, it was already paid, no issues. In this invoice, right? If you want to block, double click on the vendor line item. Here, this is one-time vendor. So here, you can enter the payment block. But even in F-02 or FB02 also, right? This payment block field is grayed out, right? Why? Because this invoice was paid. So when the invoice is paid, how can you block? Here, what I mean to say here is, in FB02, you can enter the blocking reason and you can delete the blocking reason in the vendor invoice. Following everybody? In FB02, you can enter the blocking reason in the vendor invoice and you can also remove the blocking reason in the vendor invoice. Following everybody or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Yeah, okay. Now, so when you enter the blocking reason at the time of posting the invoice, that invoice is completely blocked from all the future payment runs till that blocking reason is again removed in F-02. Sorry, in FB02. Then in XK02, change vendor master record, right? See, payment transactions under the company code data, payment transactions is there, right? You just to select this payment transactions, click on enter, then payment block. So in the master record, if you enter the payment blocking reason, then the system will block this vendor completely from all the payment runs. All the invoice of this vendor will be blocked from all the payment runs, even though they are overdue. So once the dispute is settled from this vendor, then you can come back to this XK02, right? You can come to the company code data segment, you can remove the blocking reason. So in the company code segment, right, you have the payment block. Okay. So if you enter the payment block in the vendor master record, in the company code data segment, then that blocking is applicable only for that company code. I will show you one more option. In the general data also, you have the payment transactions, right? In that case, sorry, not here. Control. Oh, sorry, just a minute, just a minute. Okay, sorry. You can block the vendor only in the company code only. You cannot block the vendor at a time in all the company codes. I'm sorry, I was mistaken. Yeah. So if you enter the blocking reason in the company code data segment of vendor account, all the invoices of that vendor will not be selected in any future payment run till that blocking reason is removed. So these are the different places where the invoices can be blocked. So the next topic is, right, terms of payment cash discount. This we will discuss in Monday class. I will look into this error, why the system has not given the checks printed and why the system has not printed the payment advisors and payment summary. Let me check it out and I will give you the solution. I will give the reasons for error in the Monday class. Any questions for anybody? Okay, then see you on Monday.